Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogboat333, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 as, well, TNO as the U.S. SR. Now, last video, we've been doing some stuff on our new focus tree. Did the casual purge of the army, as you do as the Soviet Union. Doing some factory institutes in the meanwhile. And, yeah, just kind of waiting right now. We're going to finish up this tree soon. And then, yeah, just gonna keep on keeping on. Expand medical care for workers. We have the agricultural strain we can afford. Let's do it. Our debt is coming down pretty nicely. Getting some decent growth. We got a surplus going. It's all coming along. Losing that military austerity. I'm probably okay with that. Yeah. We have a surplus as it is right now, so I think I'll just not mess with anything, not mess with numbers. Go ahead and just let things go for a little bit on their own. There we got some factory institutes. Next, let's go ahead and go with let's break some eggs. As Comrade Kagamic says, one must break some eggs to make an omelet. Just as one must occasionally break down the political opposition to get something done. This might be a stupid question. Do they have omelets in Russia? I'm going to look up the origin of the omelet. Omelet. Originates in ancient Persia. Okay, they probably have omelets in Russia. That was a silly question. I mean, Wikipedia isn't telling me what they are. Well, it has a couple options in languages. Suggested language. Russian is one of the suggested language. Look at that. It looks like they have their own. There's like a Ukrainian equivalent. Okay. Anyway. Sorry, I have a little bit of a dilemma. I'm trying to... I don't know. The internal political situation is simply too delicate at the moment for Comrade Kaganovich's liking. There are too many threats to his power and too many traitors against the revolution. These men not only are a danger to the people in the state, they could also be implicated in certain failings of the state in the past. These agitators and problematic individuals must be dealt with as swiftly and with as little resistance as possible. They'll be rounded up just as their kin in the military were short months ago. Now they're carted off to labor camps in Siberia or executed. While some commissariats may lose some valuable assets, what has been lost pales in comparison to what might be gained from their removal. If you say so. The smell of glue and the tapping noise of chalk upon a blackboard are sounds that children are very familiar with, having to endure both of those for 5 days a week, and a pain for little scoundrels. Yet today is a day which you'd seen a fever dream. Children man factory lines while their children sit on cold wooden chairs, their eyes focused on the alien glyphs written upon the board. Their focus diminishing with time as boredom settles in. Now, let's get on with the word comrade. Comrade. The elder woman serving as a teacher wrote on the blackboard, stressing her chalk stick so as to seemingly maximize the auditory pain her newest students felt because of it. All of you acquainted with this word, yet cannot read nor write it. The changes today, thanks to reading method using syllables. Does anyone know what a syllable is? She asked. Ain't that something we can eat? A rough-looking worker replied while raising his hand. Tika shook her head in disbelief before she started writing again on a board, stressing yet again her chalk. A syllable is Do we have the purge still done? Yeah, we still have it going. We'll be done in March. Fungus seem to be cleaning up that, Actually, the Basque Republic is pushing. What? Okay, no, they're not. They were waiting for a second, though, and that was so funny to me. Anyway. Let's get Project... let's hold off on Project Kane. Let's get the long arm of the NKVD. The NKVD is the most useful tool in state security that Comrade Kaganovich and the Revolution could hope for. Although certainly no small organization at the moment, must be expanded the larger the state grows. The more citizens under purview, the more surveillance and accountability must be placed on them. In short, the NKVD must be grown. Must have eyes and ears in every corner, every alley, every meeting room, every production line. No one will be able to keep a secret with anyone but themselves, and thus no conspiracies could be possible. This new NKVD will strike a fear in the hearts of men, a fear that is quite literally unspeakable. All will know that they are watching, but know not from where. All know that they are listening, and so dare not speak their name. They shall hold every transgression against the revolution accountable, and leave no stone unturned, and no man unquestioned. There we go. This is unacceptable! Are we just supposed to bow down and acquiesce to his every whim? That depends. Do you want to keep our heads on our shoulders? Glukov snarled with exasperation. His colleague answered, "Coward! All of you two chicken shit express your opinions on Ganovich's batshit crazy policies." He looked at his Politburo colleagues, yet no gaze met his. The other statesman left the room, grumbling. Statesman Glukov had been one of the most outspoken members of the Politburo, unafraid to express his discontent with the General Secretary's policies, and known for his distaste with the Politburo's passiveness in opposing him. As he stepped on the streets of Tyumen, his anger dwindled yet remained. Why are they letting this totalitarian madman do as he please? Comrade Lenin would turn his grave if he saw Kaganovich's madness. Shit. There we go. His teeth gritted as he looked at the sun setting over the city, nightfall drawing ever so closer. The Soviet politician sighed as there was no point getting worked up over acts of cowardice. Soon he'd be home, eating a plate of borscht made by his loving wife, Sophia. His face slightly lit up his prospect. At least today will not end on a bad note. "He's there! Get him!" Before Glukov could even react, several men in dark brown uniforms encircled the old man, blinding his vision by forcing a bag on his head. His arms were strained together by several burly hands. "Who the fuck are you?" "I'm a member of the Politburo." "Unhand me!" "Comrade Glukov, you're accused of treason and conspiracy against General Secretary Kaganovich," one of the shady figures replied. Only then did the old Soviet politician realize what his colleagues feared. That night, Sophia would dutifully wait for him, a plate of borscht placed on the dinner table for him to eat. The day after, his colleagues would notice their loudmouth colleague's disappearance. They would pretend as if he had never existed. Ignorance is bliss. Yeah, it's just from YouTube. I'm not worried about that. Explain some civilian industry, maybe. Ooh. There we go. Yeah, we'll do that. Why not? We can't quite do it yet. We have to wait till March. I guess we'll do Project Kane. That text speed is actually kind of insane. The Closed Availability Information Network is a project envisioned by Comrade Kaganovich, heavily inspired by the success of Metro 2 project. In it, many major cities across western Siberia will be provided with large underground bunker networks, ostensibly provide shelter to loyal citizens in the event of a nuclear war. In reality, these bunkers will be largely composed of labs filled to the brim with enterprising scientists. They provide an ideal place to conduct our most secret and or dangerous experiments far away from the prying eyes of people or foreign spies. Some may call the trials done here unethical. There's a little ethical about not exploiting any advantage available to the benefit of socialism and the Russian people. Yeah. Yep. The conversation between the men, both mid-level functionaries in Kaganovic's administration, began somewhat irreverently. It also ended very quickly and with much concern. It started with a joke, told quietly from one to another, and meant to contextualize the increasing restrictions they had found themselves in operating under in recent times. Everywhere it seemed there was another regulation, and a stipulation that had to be followed, another particular characteristic that their solutions absolutely had to possess. Both quickly agreed that the changes they both saw were the result of Kaganovic's policies. The man was growing increasingly totalitarian, even by the standards of the authoritarianism that the state had always possessed. Now, he was brave enough to suggest any possibility of correction, but they agreed on the recognition. The conversation was interrupted when two others, dressed in nondescript yet sturdy clothing, approached those speaking, began to ask questions as to the content of their dialogue. The most curious in particular asked of direction of the conversation as it concerned Kaganovich, the name having been overheard. Having lived in Russia their entire lives, these men knew immediately that the new arrivals were officers of state security. They knew to subsequently keep quiet. They knew professed loyalty to regime in general and Kaganovich in particular. They also knew that eventually they would be allowed to leave, but they also knew that they were being watched and that their names had been recorded. There would be no further conversations. Always listening. Yep. I'm curious if... that's going okay. I forget exactly if the Phalangists go after Portugal or not. I don't think they do. Well, they might actually. I think they do. I'll just bide time, honestly. I won't do any focuses right now. I'll wait until we get the military purges dealt with. And I hope you all are doing well today. I'm probably just gonna finish up this part. Wait until we get whatchamacallit. Wait till we either start the war or if these guys wouldn't get the reunification process going. And once I get that going, I'll record the other part and finish off this series. There we go. New talented officers. The Great Purge is now being called is finally over. The last known enemies of a state have been carried off to Siberia, or put into the ground. That's fucking Facebook. I don't care about Facebook. Don't notify me, Facebook. However, the Purge destroyed a significant portion of the officer corps. Thousands of military units, mostly at the platoon level, lack leadership. Without officers to lead them, our once strong army, or military, will dissolve into madness and stupidity at the first sight of combat. To alleviate this issue, a new corps of officers will be trained from existing veterans. These men are experienced and battle-hardened, but simply lack the education in modern tactics and combined arms operations that are necessary for the making of an effective officer. It will take some time, but these men can be trained and educated into extremely effective combat leaders. There we go. I don't see why this removes the major military purge when it's supposed to be removed by itself. I don't know. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. I can kind of tell that Kaganovic's content, it's very much of an older scale and an older quality. It's, I don't even know if I can say it's quality. It's kind of mediocre. And Man of Steel. Kaganovich has finally become a man he's always looked up to and emulated, Joseph Stalin. The Man of Steel. This is not only a want to comrade Kaganovich, it is a need. Russia and the restored Soviet Union will need a stern, unfeeling leader if it is to ever reclaim her lost glory. Thus, Comrade Kaganovich will preside over the revolution with a heart of steel. He shall not love his possessions, he shall not love his children. He shall not even love his people, but he shall love Russia. Let's see if there's anything here we want to do. Urban centers could work. Clean-shaven face, sharp eyes, and pearly white teeth were adorning Gilly's face as he looked on his own reflection in the mirror. A feeling of pride swung in his chest as he wore his new uniform, reflecting his eyes throughout the ranks from sergeant to colonel. Someone raised their eyebrow at such a rapid progression, but what did they know? The young officer had been exemplary in his conduct, showing himself to be a capable leader over the past few years. Surely they were jealous. They had to be. In spite of his own reassurances, thoughts were creeping at the back of his mind. Whispers from the common foot soldiers having reached Gilly's ears. Some other high-ranked officials, even generals that the colonel had served under, had vanished, as if they never existed. Some suggested they were taken to the dead of night by dark, shadowy figures in leather uniforms, never to be seen again. Perhaps he had not been promoted based off of merit, but on how docile he was seen to be by higher authority. Come to think of it, other young officers such as him had been recently promoted. It was but a thought, yet it was enough for him to turn bleamish, his smile gone. He quietly came to the conclusion that some questions were best left unanswered. Blessed are the ignorant. Yeah, buddy, you probably just want to shut up there. A new capital in Belize. Interesting. Aerial refueling, why not? Unlight aircraft, we'll get. They're working on CAS and fighters. Well, that's interesting. Improved academic base, look at that. Secondary schooling, huge. Got some new production units, put those on construction. And yeah, that's that. I think you all, this is just the same focus tree no matter what, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm actually going to end it a little early, like I did on the parts a couple parts ago. It's not as early as that one, of course, but I'll skip over to 71, get the reunification process going, make sure we get the super event, any post-event unification stuff as well. Oh, fuck, wait. Well, guess we got a war going. Well, we still got this event. It is done. The revolution is secured, and Russia's future lies open. Counter-revolutionary forces have been defeated elsewhere, everywhere they've sprung up. Stalin's vision for Russia appears closer than ever. This was a great triumph for the Russian people, yet Kaganovich still felt discomfort. The East, that must be it. West Russia might be clear of reactionaries, but the East was still a festering pit of traitors to Stalin's vision. They seek to crush the spirit of the Russian people once more and delay the inevitable revolution of the proletariat for another few years. His comrades of East lie suffering, but not for much longer. The Red Army is prepared to liberate the country once and for all. No more shall the laborer suffer under the boot of a capitalist, the reactionary, the fifth column of swine. No, Kaganovich held the key to Russia's future, once free from the pains of its past. Tomorrow might be bright, but only through the darkness of today. Blood will be spilt more than Russia seen since the West Russian War. It was tragic, it was a waste, and it was necessary. Kaganovich could not surrender the Russian people to the hands of counter-revolutionaries, and they would fight against true socialism to their dying breath. If it's a waste, is it a necessary waste? I don't know. It saddened him to know that even further bloodshed must be shed, but the man of steel did not shy from hardship. Whatever the price, the future would be secured. Nothing must stand in the way of socialism and the revolution. Kaganovic's shoulders prepared themselves for death as he prepared his orders, allowing himself a single tear for those who must perish in the name of liberty. A single masculine tear. Look at that. The death of one man is a tragedy. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and leave things there, gang. Thanks always for watching, though. Like if you like, dislike, and leave comments feedback down in the comments section below. I read all the comments you get. I appreciate any feedback you might have for me. And yeah, I think you all probably know the deal by now. So I'll go ahead and leave things there. Thanks for watching, though. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.